I've now had a couple of days to digest the full sweep of the Durham final report. And what the report reveals or confirms is a triangular alliance between three corrupt parties. On one side, you have one peg of the triangle is the Clinton campaign. They are the originators of the fraud. They're the ones who wanted to frame Trump, not only to defeat him in the election, but to divert attention from Hillary's server, her deleted emails, to also divert attention away from investigations that could have started at the FBI or in the intelligence agencies involving questionable contributions to the Clinton Foundation, illegal campaign donations. So there was a lot of dirty laundry on the part of the Clinton campaign. And their point was, let's sick these guys on Trump. So that's the first party. The second party was, of course, the FBI and other intelligence agencies. This whole Russia collusion involved foreign intelligence agencies. It involved the CIA. And so there's a wider web of spies and spooks and bad guys involved. And third, the media. The media, which played a role of an accessory to trumpeting these lies. The lies paid off for the media. There were Pulitzer Prizes awarded. And Durham has the goods on all three groups. He begins with the U.S. government and the intelligence agencies, and he makes one clear point. They never had one shred of evidence that the Trump campaign was in any way collaborating with Russia. No ties between Trump campaign officials and Russians. Trump was in no way a Russian asset or some kind of a subsidiary of Putin. All of this pure fabrication, pure lies. Number two, the intelligence agencies not only were promoting these lies, but they knew they were lies. In other words, it wasn't that the Clinton campaign duped them. So John Brennan, for example, the former CIA director, this is a guy he's repeatedly mentioned in the Durham report. He was going out in public. He wrote, for example, a op-ed in the New York Times 2018, quote, "President Trump's claims of no collusion are hogwash." Similarly, he was testifying to the same effect before the House Intelligence Committee. And yet, when he was interviewed, Brennan admits, I didn't have any evidence of Russia collusion. And he said that he looked at all the documents and he, quote, found no conspiracy. And yet, despite admitting this to Durham, he goes on MSNBC and basically implies that there is a conspiracy and Trump is colluding with Russia. So in a way, you could say these are people bringing the dark arts of disinformation that they supposedly were trained to use abroad on foreign adversaries, except they're using it here to rig a presidential election. By the way, there were key foreign allies and foreign officials who both informed the U.S. intelligence agencies, we don't see any evidence of this. And in one case, the United Kingdom, the intelligence service said, we're not cooperating with this. We don't think this is a legitimate line of investigation. Now, the other thing is that Durham highlights the double standard in the way that the FBI treated Trump versus, say, Hillary. He says the speed and manner in which the FBI opened and investigated Crossfire Hurricane during the presidential election season based on raw, unanalyzed, and uncorroborated intelligence reflected a noticeable departure from how it approached prior matters involving possible attempted foreign election interference plans aimed at the Clinton campaign. So if you look at the exact same situation, Trump is treated one way, Hillary is treated another way. And then we turn finally to the media reporting. And it turns out the media reporting is cited by the report for regularly promoting inaccurate information. I can kind of see now why the New York Times is poo-pooing the Durham report. Why? Because it exposes the New York Times. It points out, for example, that the FBI records show that reports published by the New York Times in February and March of 2017 concerning what 4 unnamed current and former U.S. intelligence officials claimed about the Trump campaign personnel being in touch with any Russian intelligence officers was untrue. So it was untrue. The FBI knows it was untrue. The New York Times knows it was untrue. And yet they promote it. Why? Now, the common thread here is that all these groups, from the Clinton campaign to the intelligence agencies to the media, are all equally hostile to Trump. So they're united in a common enterprise, which is to say, why not promote these lies? Why look too hard at this matter? Why try to check and verify things? That could only thwart the whole effort. We discover that there isn't any truth to it, and then we have to drop it. So if we don't check it, we can then push ahead, at least in the sort of good faith knowledge that it could be true. We want it to be true, and therefore perhaps it is true.